love you. Sending you a big virtual hug wherever you are on the earth plane right now. Okay, here's a message that came in. It came in late last night. I've said this message before, and I need to say it again. There are two timelines that are playing out right now. There is a timeline that is in a lower state of consciousness or a lower frequency that's holding fear, chaos, stress, anxiety, control, manipulation, censorship, right? And it's getting louder and louder and louder. See it as a screen, a movie screen. There's another timeline playing out right now in this now moment that is quieter. It's quieter because we haven't been able to step into it completely yet. We're not quite sure. Is it really there? Can I really trust it? Can I really believe it? Because the fear, that consciousness, that dark consciousness, is being dismantled. And as it gets dismantled, it gets louder and louder and louder and louder. Don't destroy me. Don't destroy me. Don't destroy me. I'm going to get louder and louder and louder to make you believe the illusion that I am getting bigger, that I am more powerful. And the light just keeps building over here. This is the second timeline. This is the higher timeline. Higher states of consciousness, light, love, unity, freedom, choice, sovereignty, peace, calm, abundance, expansion. It's here. It's here right now. It is right here, right now. But many of us are hearing this loud stuff, right? Mandated vaccines, not going to happen. 5G towers are going to destroy humans, not going to happen. Chemtrails are going to manipulate and screw up our minds, not going to happen. Famine, we're going to not have enough food, not going to happen, right? All of these stories, there's going to be 10 days of blackout, not going to happen, right? There's going to be a civil war, not going to happen. But this is what the screen is telling us, okay? And we're watching it unravel. It's absolutely, unequivocally happening. But there is another timeline that is absolutely unequivocally happening as well. And our job as light workers, as way showers, as warriors of light, as starseeds, is to focus on this, regardless of how loud that volume gets turned up on that screen. So here's what my guides wanted me to share with you. First, there are beings of light like yourself, but are not in physical form. Beings of light that are on the earth plane, moving around with us right now, as energetic beings, dismantling that movie screen. And they are working with and assisting humans that have the role of dismantling that consciousness. So the amount of power and light that is working on the behalf of this timeline over here, this higher timeline, would blow our minds. But because it is sort of behind the scenes, right? First of all, the media is not telling us any of this. And it is much more of an energetic dismantling that we don't see it. It's hard for us to believe it. And because this dark consciousness that we've been in for so long is so dark, that it is being dismantled in a way that won't harm our psyche. It won't harm it won't bring us into a psychotic state. Okay, so we're not necessarily seeing the dismantling, all of the dismantling of this really dark consciousness right now. What we are seeing is the physicality of this dark consciousness, right? So we're being told these things, we're being shown these things, we're being stuck inside of our houses. All of these things are happening. That's the screen playing out. There is another screen, and this is what we need to pay attention to. There are beings that are on the earth plane, walking as light, that we can't see, that are literally dismantling that entire timeline. I promise you, it's an abso-freaking-lutely loot thing. Abso-freaking-lutely loot thing. It's absolute. So they need you to start to hold this. Are we going to all of a sudden be poisoned by food, right? Somebody just sent me some video. That timeline would play out if we didn't shift the frequency of the collective. We are shifting the frequency of the collective. That timeline is not going to play out. But that screen is going to be up there until we as a collective are able to literally shift the train onto the other track and move down this path of the higher timeline. How do we do that? We stay focused on it. So hold up in your house. You have a curfew. Stay focused on this other timeline. That this massive upheaval and uprest that you're seeing right now is not going to win. It's not going to play out. And you have a choice in believing that. You have a choice. You have a choice in what you're going to believe in. So here's two analogies that you can think about, okay? The first analogy is, imagine that it's 4th of July and you have a dog in your house. When dogs experience the 4th of July and the firecrackers going off, they freak out, right? They run into the bathroom, they jump in the tub, they're shaking, right? All they know is that in this now moment, they are not safe. There's loud noises going off, they can hear it, they feel super uncomfortable, right? They're shaking, and you do everything you can to let them know this is going to pass, this is going to pass, this is going to pass. Yes, they're loud. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's happening, but I promise you it passes and you will be safe. That is 1000% the message right now. Yes, it's happening. Yes, that screen's there. Yes, they're going to tell you all kinds of crazy stuff that's happening. What's your choice, right? The dog is in such a present moment state that it's just trying to get through the firecrackers. You understand this. So stay focused on that higher timeline. The firecrackers stop. The firecrackers don't continue on and on and on, no matter how loud and how big they get. The second analogy they want you to remember is that there are millions upon millions of human bodies, like you and me, that are light workers, way showers, warriors of light, starseeds, on top of the actual light beings that are on the earth plane right now making an impact. And we are all in a line, huge line across the entire earth. And we are all moving forward, walking towards that really dark screen. And you can make any storyline you want about that dark screen, right? Any narrative you want. Vaccines, 5G, civil war, whatever you want to do, right? Whatever. Dark night of the soul, where the whole planet goes dark for 10 days. Whatever you want to think about. Whatever you've been told. But here we are, massive line, millions of light workers, way showers, warriors of light, they call us, holding a very high frequency. Whether you believe this or not, you are. And we are all moving towards that screen. And that screen doesn't go away just because we get closer to it. What happens is it gets louder as we get closer, because we're shining more light and more light and more light. And we have to be courageous as we walk towards that screen. We have to be courageous warriors of light as we continue to move closer and closer to that screen that we are literally dismantling. Stuck in your house, we're getting closer to the screen. Mandated vaccines, we're getting closer to the screen. 5G towers, we're getting closer to the screen. We're not going to have any food in a couple months, we're getting closer to the screen. You can't do anything to me. Go ahead, try it. We are massive warriors of light. We are dismantling it. That's the mentality. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's hard. Yes, yes, yes to everything you're feeling. And you're still a warrior of light on this line, moving towards that screen in order to dismantle it. And the more courageous we are in looking at it, but recognizing that we're standing on this other timeline. So you're looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, you're loud, you're obnoxious, you're not gonna trick me anymore, because there's this timeline right here that I'm standing in. And this is the timeline that I'm choosing to focus on, no matter what you say. Because I know that not only am I, but millions of other warriors of light are standing here, shining the light, walking forward towards it, not letting it control me anymore, not letting it have control over me, telling me that I need to be afraid of something, telling me that this is going to happen. No more. I am taking back my power. I'm taking back my sovereignty. I'm taking back my choice. I'm choosing another timeline. I'm choosing to remember that even if I can't see it, there are beings of light that are dismantling you no matter what. And just like the firecrackers on 4th of July, this will not win. It will not play out. It will not play out. And as we get closer and closer as warriors of light, it dissolves and dissolves without a. But it will not dissolve without a fight. It's going to get louder and louder and louder. So, and every single continent on this earth plane is going to go through their own massive shifts. There is dark, dark consciousness on every continent. Underneath the continent, on top of the continent. And we have to dismantle it. So we have to stand on that continent as warriors of light around the entire earth and shine our light on the dark that is literally coming up from underground, physically underground. Those underground tunnels all over the world, and on top, that are all around us, on top of the continent, on top of the planet, standing there. And I want you to remember that that we win, that the light freaking wins, that this is a screen that has controlled us for thousands of years, and it's not going to win. It's only going to get louder because it's afraid. Please remember it like the 4th of July firecrackers and the dog. Please remember that you are standing in a line of millions upon millions upon millions of beings and humans. That even though you may not see it, I can promise you there is work being done by higher dimensional light beings and humans that you can't see, that you don't know, that are dismantling that from behind the scenes. I promise you. There will come another now moment where all of this will be revealed to you. All of it. But right now, we have to trust. We have to choose. We have to remember. And one last thing before you go. There is a song I encourage you to listen to when you're in fear, when you are forced to be stuck in your house, when you are watching chaos and disruption, when you are forced to wear a mask. Play this song. Find it on Spotify. The song is called Where the Heart Is. And the artist is Brett, Brett, Eldredge, E-L